you better lock in and buckle up, bucko, because you're in for more disturbing and creepy theories that will keep you up all night. I'm Jet Ski Chuck, and you already know. Let's get this started. Hey, listen! Hey. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing on this Christmas Eve? We're diving into more disturbing and creepy theories, y'all. Then we're gonna continue on part 5. Oh, we got people in the building. Scotland, Geo, Merry Christmas, Chris, Big Turp, Mel, official Dark Waters 9 member, Geo Boss. What is good, y'all? We in here officially. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Y'all got happy holidays from Miss Holiday. That is what's up. We're just waiting for everyone to get in here, and then we are going to start. We got some juicy stuff today. Hey, listen! Be sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Helps boost the algorithm, helps get like-minded people together. Joe in the building. My favorite professor, Mel from Hidden Histories. This is all strictly entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. All right? None of this has been fact checked. Do your own research on everything. Yeah, I wish you guys the best. Hope you all are doing great. Slap that like button. We got a juicy one for Christmas Eve. If you guys want me to dive back in, we'll dive back in on those waters later. Joe, Duke Nukem in the building. Merry Christmas. Jet Ski Chuck and all the buckos. Let's go. Gary, ho ho, buckle up, bucko. Let's go. David, Steve, gang in this. Watch your mouth. Jamelia, happy holidays. David, dive. That's what I was born to do, is dive. All I know how to do is to dive. The only thing I can do is dive on these waters. Whether it's submersible, whether we're diving in the submersible, or we're in the jet wing. or if it's by boat, or the upgraded jet wing is what I meant to show you. The upgraded jet wing. We are going to dive on these waters and figure it out. Almost at 100 people. Hit that like button, then we are going to get started. My fault, y'all. I was saying this is actually a 4-seater. You said I need more people in here, a submarine crew. I agree. This is a 5-seater actually. I can have one person beside me and I can have 3 people behind me. And we can operate. I can have one person collect specimens, one person documenting, you know, of course me, the navigator, taking us through these dark water nines. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got 100 people in here. Yeah, it's time to get started, y'all. If you guys are just now joining, be sure you slap that like button and make sure that you are subscribed. And go to the bell icon and turn notifications to all so you won't miss a live or a video. I'm about to be going hard here soon, guys. I'm gonna be dropping bangers. So yeah, you guys already know. And after we get done diving into this creepy and scary video and theories, we might dive into that book later. So that's just something to look forward to. If you enjoy that series, if that's something you guys want to continue, we can keep it going. I call shotgun, says David. Joe, scoot on over. Taylor, sounds sus, did he? Hey, Taylor, chill out. What up? Chuck, you rule. Crazy Diamond, keep up the navigation. Hey, let's go, Gio. Wisdom, make it a click. Howard slapped that like. I appreciate you guys so much, honestly. I really do appreciate all you guys. All right. You guys already know what type of video this is. By the thumbnail, you guys already know what we're getting into. Huge shout out to My Lunch Break for this amazing video that we are going to be reacting to. And then we're going to be diving into some more theories later. But for right now, if you don't know about My Lunch Break, you guys know I'm a huge fan, you know. And yeah, there's a lot I have to watch, and this is one of them. So let's watch it together and let's dive in on these waters.
An alternative conclusion as to why these palaces are all over the world today. I'm going to attempt to take our thought process a little deeper. And we're also going to see a palace in Russia that we are told has a painter that died years before the construction was even close to being done. Because we all paint our house before it's built. No. Right here on stpetersburg.com, we are given a panoramic shot of St. Petersburg, Russia, with perfect dirt roads where I don't see a single person. Massive buildings everywhere, yet not one person. These photos are from 1861, only 3 years after they say that this was constructed. You can see this palace in the fourth shot in the panoramic view. Where
Palace. When was the last time you seen a palace? Man, look at that.
it's becoming clearer and clearer that these cities all over the world, palaces, were constructed by a massive civilization, one that was here before us, a civilization that had incredible technology, and a civilization that was here only a few hundred years ago, a civilization that is clearly being hidden to us. Yet their construction sits here looking at us straight in the face. These photos are alarming in my opinion. Everyone should be asking questions at this point. One question should be, who paved all of this dirt? Like it's all perfectly prepared for these photos. And I'm going to suggest an alternative, much less likely idea, an idea that should just be out there for people to think about. And possibly not just an alternative idea, but something that could definitely be an addition to what we have already known. That there was a previous civilization here before us. But after doing countless hours of this research on this topic, after looking at these photos, where these cities look like they were on display for all of us, almost like they were prepared for us, cleaned up perfectly, and ready for us all to come into the picture in the late 1700s. An idea that I'm just gonna throw out there into the world for everyone to think about, instead of being just stuck in my head, is, are there two groups? One that actually cared about us, possibly created us, and set this stage for us, and one that does not care about us, with the corrupt group still being here, and the other group that built our incredible stage and felt that we deserve the greatest palaces to live in and use.
One group that doesn't want to be here. You guys know we've been diving into that book. Could anyone say the custodians, maybe? Big up, Chuck. What up, Nando? What's good? Wisdom. Unlock those secret gem. Real eyes realize real lies. That's true wisdom. Tartarians. Argenta, hit that like button. I can promise you. That's the last palace. Keep your head on a straight swivel. Yes, buddy. Mark, you caught another live. We in here. Let's get it, guys.
The group that fully understood this type of incredible construction, possibly no longer here, with a corrupt group that ended up wanting to control an entire population.
Trying to control the entire population. Huge shout out to Jackson for the $2. Thank you, brother. Christmas Eve.
Us. Changing the narrative to all of these buildings. Hijacking all of the buildings, calling them Capitol buildings, banks. Buildings for them now, and no longer for us. Buildings that were always and originally meant for us, where they are now used as this group's offices to control us. Destroying the rest of the buildings with wars, great fires that weren't so great, tricking us for 200 plus years, giving us a ridiculous story that a group of people that had a population of basically nobody, that rode around on donkeys with no technology, were the master builders of stone-carved and marble basilicas that stand the test of time all over the world, when in reality it was a much more powerful group that is no longer here, or maybe they are, and watching from a distance. A group that set the stage for all of us, built all of these incredible buildings that we have been talking about this entire time. Temples, cathedrals, basilicas, Capitol buildings, houses that are white, and no, not the vinyl siding ones. Is it possible that we are so much more important, so much more powerful than we are told, and completely tricked and manipulated into thinking that we are just these lazy pawns to these corrupt individuals that stole our buildings, our land, making us feel like we're born just to work and sleep, just to struggle, over and over, when in reality, our lives are so much more important and incredibly valuable. In reality, they have stolen our buildings, taken them from us, and giving us these depressing, ugly boxes in return, which are demoralizing to look at. We know that the historical narrative that we are currently given is complete nonsense. We have proven this, in my opinion. We have shown massive flaws, including the population lie, where supposedly we are being told that nobody wants to have kids with anyone for thousands of years. And then in the 1700s, out of nowhere, the human mind changes for the first time ever. Just a random fluke, we are told. And people finally enjoy each other's company and finally want to have kids with each other. And this narrative was accepted for far too long. What we don't know, and what we all want to know, is where we are. What is the truth? Who actually built these buildings? They are incredible, and nothing like the buildings that we build today.
Nothing like the buildings today. We can look all around us and we can see that there's nothing remotely even similar. You guys seen that Wade? Dwayne, I don't even like sports like that, but I gotta show you something. Give me a second. Activate submersible. I gotta show you guys this. Dwayne Wade statue. Look at this. Would you come here and look at this? Look at this. So, you mean to tell me this is the best yacht we can do? We got the most money invested in this project because you know the NBA, they got all types of money. So it would be nothing for them to pay whoever wanted the type of money they needed to make it resemble somewhat. Just a little bit. Nothing looks like this man. But when we look at statues like this, but when we look like statues like this they did back in the day, it's like, how could they do this? You mean to tell me the very best we could do was that Wade? That's the best we can do right now. And they're proud of it, they said. But how come we can't do stuff like this? Real art. That's unreal. That might be the worst statue someone ever seen. They made him Asian, Joe. His eyes, I don't know what's going on. Laser isn't phased. Seriously. Real art. He said those statues are too good. Is it a possibility that they were petrified? Those buildings, blood bricks and catacombs, I wouldn't be surprised if they was built inside out. From Michael, wisdom, no statue form of mummification. Most likely computer, Joe. This is a proving ground. Yeah. We just look at these old statues and it's just like, how? I got another one. You saying these statues look a little too good. I'm just trying to go through these and find a decent one for us. Should have these archived, honestly. See what other statues we can find. What would I type in? They already don't want you to find it. In the world. But yeah, you guys get it. We'll do a statue video soon, trust me, because I got crazy stuff. Especially in these books. Didn't we come across, what was it? Griffin-sized statues? Well, anyways, I don't got it now, but I'll tell you about it. There were these griffins, or what was it, like a sphinx, but with like a female head. It was crazy stuff. These statues get deep, very deep. Like the movie Raya. I kind of thought the same thing. They were petrified. How good do these statues look? There's a story of a woman who drank the silica liquid from Geo, then turned into a statue, says wisdom. Interesting. Pillar of salt. The secret would be find out what this would be made out of. Wow. Y'all get a load of this. What's the last one? Then we gonna continue on. So how are they able to do this then? We go from this to this, y'all. We're just putting the pieces together. That's all we're doing. Okay? This is what we went from. Go Lions. How hard did they go back in the day? How beautiful did they make their structures? You know, it was a different league. All right, y'all. That's all I wanted to show y'all. Let's get back to it. Where are we?
It's built by a different mindset. They're built with much more technology, much more information that we do not have. We are not taught these skills in our highest architecture classes. Which class shows us how to knock out a palace in a year with no power tools, no light bulbs, no shipping companies, nothing? That chapter was left out of the college architecture book. We all know this. These buildings that we all see in every single one of our cities, they tell a much different story than what we've all been told by the mainstream narrative. And this narrative, this lie, it only helps one group, and the group is not us. There was a previous civilization that was here before us, a civilization that was massive and held incredible technology. But there is a very real possibility in my mind that there are also higher powers that are possibly still here that set this current stage for us, and the game has now been corrupted. We don't advance our overall thought process by simply being quiet. Who maintained all of this dirt? We're being told that a civilization of no people had the capabilities to construct an entire palace city, and this city will last forever. Yeah.
That kind of resembles the World Fairs, doesn't it? But is that water in the middle? Man, I would have to search more of those kind of statues on different people. I agree. Kitty G, hey, I made it. Yes, you did. C note, I agree. Little Mike, Little Buddha Mike, yo, any chance you can bring a guest up to talk to Chuck? Yes, of course. Chuck, can we talk about Santa Claus, Krampus? Yeah, we can dive into that. Krampus or something like that. Hey, at least you got his number correct. Getting off topic. That statue was flawless. I agree. They did a great job. I would like to see it in person.
Yet when you look at the finished product, there isn't a single person anywhere. It's empty. And here we have St. Isaac's Cathedral, located in St. Petersburg, Russia. And the inside just blows your mind, with massive doors, incredible detail, with a height of over 330 feet. And we are told the exact same story that we've seen all over the world.
Real quick, those giant doors, they're everywhere because they remember when we were reading on the last live, we were saying the giants and the Tartarians were working together. They were in harmony, damn near. Like they were working together, the giants and the Tartarians, defending Middle Earth like Lord of the Rings.
This wasn't even the first structure. This one was the replacement. In fact, it was the fourth consecutive church standing at this place. The exact same location has had 4 churches here. This is what we're being told. I'm shocked that this pattern, that 4 buildings have been on the same site. How has this pattern not been identified before? We see the exact same thing, even over in Texas, when they have 7 courthouses on the exact same site. We've seen it all over. It's a repeating pattern. All of these narratives all over the world are, in my opinion, created by the same source. And in my opinion, based on everything that we've seen, it's an AI, very similar to ChatGPT. This palace has bronze doors, internal columns, statues on the inside, and of course, the interior was originally decorated with paintings that have been since painted over. And supposedly they reproduced them. They had to get rid of the originals because they deteriorated because of the cold and damp conditions inside. This is incredible how they get away with destroying the originals over and over. We are told that this building was constructed between 1818 and 1858 when
You guys are on it, fam. The orbs work at night. About a collab. Yeah, I'm always down. I'm starting to realize more tech was made less supernatural and the spiritual of the world become, says Prince Pierce. Yes, the world fairs. Santa Satan just switched the letters around, don't you think?
We can easily catch this narrative in a lie when we go to Vatican City and take a look at Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo painted this in 1508 to 1512, supposedly, predating this Russian painting by over 300 years. And it's holding up just fine, unless, of course, Michelangelo had a better paint set. It's ridiculous. So the paintings should have been just fine in Russia. And this is when the story gets even weirder, when they tell us that during World War II, the dome was also painted over, making it gray to avoid attention from enemy aircraft. So I hope we're all seeing very clearly at this point what these wars, seeing what their true purpose was, clearly destroying these buildings, removing the inside because it was too cold. Give me a break. And they say the work was never completed. But when you take a look at the inside, it looks pretty completed to me. It doesn't even look like they missed one spot. And they tell us that the original paintings were done by this Karl guy and other random Russian masters of the day. And of course, no need to name these Russian masters of the day, but here is Karl. It was the pose of the day. Could you imagine if we gave information the way the mainstream narrative did? Just saying they were the flavor of the day, painted by the painters of the day, like it's some sort of special.
So, is it safe to say all the paintings that are in most cathedrals aren't the original paintings that were there when the buildings were constructed? Is that something safe to say? He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are awake. Hit it, hit man.
On the menu. It's incredible how this was accepted as fact for so long. It's shocking. And Karl died before the construction was done. Do we all paint our houses before the construction is done? Or is this the last step in the process? It is the last step. You don't paint your house years before it's done. He died in 1852. We are told that the building is done in 1858. So this guy that put the finishing touches on the palace is dead 6 years before the building is done. So we know we don't paint our house 6 years before it's done. Oh, and if we go down here at the bottom, we can see that this was his self-portrait. Very nice choice, Karl. Let's take a look at the technologies of this palace, where William Handyside is the engineer. So Handyside is the guy where they get 10,000 tree trunks and throw them into the marshy banks. So they want us to believe that there's just a bunch of tree trunks under this palace. And I know they are a bunch of liars at this point. So when we see something like this, I know to go deeper. This statement makes me think that there is something under this palace that has significant value. When we can see that this building has artwork and exhibits from a museum that were hidden away in the cathedral's basement. So now we know that this palace has a basement with valuable.
If you see any Tartarian structure, you better bet your bottom dollar, bucko, that they got some type of basement, some type of catacomb, something up under that structure. I'm telling you, it never fails. If I see something with that dome and it looks like it needs to be sucking up some type of ether, I'm telling you, they got something under it. Catacomb, basement, tunnel system, railroad, under old ancient railroad system. You know, it makes you think about those old slavery songs that they was talking about. Way in the water. Wait, no, not that one. The Underground Railroad songs. I don't know them, but it makes you think. Did they know how to have access to those tunnels?
In it, and all chalked up to this war again. So they lay down these 10,000 tree trunks on a marshy bank and then knock out a massive basement on top of all that and then build a palace. and paint it before it's done. And then get rid of those paintings because it's a little too cold. But never finish those paintings, of course. Oh, and this is the 4th palace on the same site. It sounds like a lie. I wonder how much bigger this palace is underground, like we have seen in episode 44, when we caught a tunnel on camera from the Illinois State Capitol building while they were in the middle of destroying something and just call it a renovation project. So here's the construction photo that they give us. A photo from expresstoroussia.com. There's a big problem though with this picture. It's a drawing. And we know that they had cameras in 1816. So why give us a drawing? I've said this before, but it's so true. For all we know, they just drew this last night. It's a drawing. It's obviously not proof of construction. Not even close. Here we are told we have a view of the cathedral surrounded by wood scaffolding from another drawing, drawn 3 years ago by a master drawer of the day, as the mainstream narrative likes to say. It's incredible. So in 1931, they turned this cathedral into a museum when, under the Soviet government, the building was stripped of religious trappings. In 1931, it was turned into the Museum of the History of Religion and Atheism. So the complete opposite of a cathedral. Going back to my suggestion that there's possibly a group that wants to take these buildings that were originally meant for us in a positive manner and turn them into the complete opposite, removing everything that was once given to all of us, a cathedral, changed to a museum of history and atheism, where the original dove structure was removed and replaced by a Foucault pendulum, which we all know at this point is some weird symbol for this group. Let's check this palace out, now that we know that this building's narrative is forever in shreds. So here we have the St. Isaac's Cathedral, and right over here we have another building that'll no longer be hidden in plain sight, the Mariinsky Palace. Now let's have some fun, and make sure you don't confuse it with the theater. And thank you for letting us know about this masterpiece. Is there a more entertaining topic? Finding buildings, palaces, that make no sense in the fabricated timeline that we're given. Palaces that we can actually go and visit, especially when we're told that this was built in a year. And unfortunately, the original building was destroyed by a fire in 1859. Adding to our fire total. Is your mind blown yet? Should we go deeper?
Time to go deeper, he says. The Notre Dame. Chris, you're right, 100%. All praises to the Most High. Where's the construction drawing out? The tunnels and bridges in NYC. Yo, I figured out something in the Way in the Water song. Demons and underwaters. That's why I said God's going to trample the waters. Woo-hoo-hoo. Porchy love with the gem. Baby Turtle in the building. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe. Show Chuck some love. Baby Turtle, let's go. Mike, respect always. C-Note with the Lions logo. Let's go Lions. Hitman 100. The Cabal sounds familiar, and I'm thinking about Destiny 2, about Cabal. Wouldn't a massive flood that would like the worldwide Bible mudslides? And yes, that would make sense. All right, let's dive in.
The new one, the one that's here today, the palace opened up the very next year. So the theater's narrative is clearly a mess. So let's go back to this palace, where in 1839, they were building palaces as wedding presents. This is incredible. Built in 5 years, from 1839, and wrapped it right up in 1844. And then, of course, taken over by the Russian government.
What's good, Aaron?
Limits to the public. Were these buildings built for them? It's definitely an interesting thought that these narratives are thrown together by this group as a successful attempt to steal these buildings from us and clearly getting away with it, and then create the passport so that if we want to go visit these lands that were once all ours, you need to make sure you have your papers. I don't think this was the world that was created for all of us. I think it was the complete opposite. And it's been 100% infiltrated worldwide. And it's beginning to feel more and more like everyone's starting to realize that. And I was looking at this area and saw these two buildings in the background that clearly look out of place. So let's check this one out first.
I was going to say, those buildings looked all cold. See, no, what's up, Chucko? I descended from the Cabbage Patch Kids. How did you analyze that, Big Terp? When I visited Wisconsin Capitol, studied the blocks, my conclusion is learning heavy on the CNC style cutout. I'm telling you, Brian Buckles, you better buckle up, because those alien machines, those alien UFOs, they had a CNC attachment slapped on the bottom of it, Brian Buckles. Michelle, did I finally make a live on time? Yes, you did, Michelle. Chris Mason, my buddy's a Cabbage Patcher. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. A Cabbage Patcher? Whoa. He's a cat. How do you just say that, Chris? How does that just roll off your fingers where you type, my friend is a Cabbage Patcher? Oh, how do you know that? David, evaporation on the altar, substance. Okay, David. Hitman. One Love Germany in the building. Remember, William. Yeah, that's wild, David. Anthony Brown, buckle up, Buckhouse.
A building that was taken over by the Russian Navy, where they tell us that an earlier wooden church sat on the exact same site. And then we have the other palace that we just saw. And remember, all of these buildings, they're all right next to each other.
Welcome to the channel.
The Trinity Cathedral. Let's show the world that the lie is over. It's game over for the mainstream narrative. And there is no going back. We will all never forget this. The more and more people that see the lies, the faster the truth is going to be shown to us.
Big Terp said, so where do YT people come from? Meaning that I am YT. I don't know. This isn't Dave Chappelle, Nostradamus, when he came in and he had the hat and he answered all the questions. Y'all remember that on Dave Chappelle where he was wearing that hat? I forgot that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't know if I can, if that's something I can say, that's beyond that's not something I can answer. Activate cloaking mechanism, bro. All right, I can do that. That's easy. Activate cloaking mechanism. I activated the cloaking mechanism. This is that same thing on Harry Potter when he threw that cloak on. Noah was described as having white skin. The crossing, yeah, wasn't it like albino or something? Like he had albino dreads or something? Jason. All meat, I do hear, or I see I want some bones. That was the best episode. Forklift Boys in the building. Joe Towers. Big Terp, I don't know. He said, where do I come from? I couldn't tell you. If you got to think about where they got the Cabbage Patchers from. So someone said their friends is a Cabbage Patcher. You got to think where they got the stuff to make them, to be able to make them Cabbage Patchers in the first place. There had to be some type of origin to those cabbage patching activities. All right. Let's get back into it. How y'all doing? Hit that like button. How many people we got? 522? Hit that like button. Let's go.
Where we are told that the Trinity Cathedral was constructed in 1828 to 1835. And in 2006, the blaze apparently started on scaffolding on the outside of the church, which was undergoing restoration. And we all know that restoration really means destruction. I have something to add on. Is there a world under our feet that we're unaware of? Buried by mud and dirt? Sure, New York and Chicago and the major cities have tunnel systems, and we know this. But where it gets crazy is that it isn't just the major cities. It's even in cities such as Oshkosh, Wisconsin. These tunnels underground have been used for many things back in the day. Back in the day? No, we aren't just brushing this one off anymore with the back in the day stuff. It goes on to say, one of those things was running liquor back and forth from building to building. So even in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, the buildings are connected underground with zero construction photos of anyone ever connecting a building to another one. Are you seeing the lie even clearer now?
Yes, we've been seeing the lie. We've been with you, my lunch break. Big Bugs, Mine and Vale's done a few videos on Cabbage Patch Kids. Yes, I've seen them. I gotta go check and make sure I ain't miss them. Mikey, they come from the Caucasus Mountains. I don't know, so I can't tell y'all that. But I'm glad y'all doing y'all research though. But yeah, it's nothing but love for everyone though. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, blue, orange. You know, we side by side on these dark waters, man. Y'all know the deal?
Should we go even deeper? Here we go. Now, I mentioned Oshkosh in episode 40, and we went there and saw that they have griffins on the top of their building. Now, we know this town also has a tunnel system that connects all the buildings together. So when I was showing how the windows are all below the current ground.
I'm about to get something to drink real quick. Do y'all want something, man? Water? Anything? I'm gonna let this keep playing so y'all can still watch and just type in what happened when I was gone. But if y'all want anything, drop it in the comments. I'll get it for y'all. Whatever y'all want. On me. Big Jet.
Ground level. This is what I'm talking about. There is a tunnel system. These buildings are so much bigger than we can see. And how deep are these tunnels? What is down there? And you know something crazy is going on in Oshkosh, Wisconsin when you have massive military contracts awarded to Oshkosh Defense. On December 16th, 2022, Oshkosh Defense LLC announced that the U.S. Army placed a $543 million order. We are always told to trace the money, right? A massive military corporation providing aid to the Army, Marines, Air Force, and Navy. Who is really in charge of this town, setting up these kind of operations and massive contracts? So we have tunnels, massive military contracts, griffins on the buildings, pillars and columns everywhere. And there is a book called Oshkosh Down Under. And look at this stuff. We have photos of the entrance to the tunnel from the old Mercy Medical Hospital. Tunnels in the 1800s? Not only were they building above ground, but also below? Here we have the tunnel from the hotel to the Opera House. And there's even a sign saying tunnel to the courthouse. Remember, these tunnels connect all of the buildings, not just one. There is a massive tunnel system right below the sidewalk. So when you go back and watch episode 40, remember that there are now proven tunnels below where I was standing. This is crazy stuff. In the future, if you guys like this kind of stuff, I'll go back to Oshkosh and see if we can get inside the tunnels. And so we're clear, these tunnels were found and repurposed by our current civilization, in my opinion. This book states that they used the tunnels to transport prisoners from the jail to the courthouse, which they no longer do. But this is not what it was originally used for, of course. Here we have a photo of the entrance to the tunnel from the county safety building, taken by the city of Oshkosh. So these tunnels were no secret. It's incredible. Now in 1944, we have a witness that states she was working for Gateway Valley Wholesale Liquor, located next to a private garage. She left for lunch one day and saw an area that was going down into the hotel. And this opened up into a tunnel, leading underneath the alley and into the hotel. She says that she remembers seeing glass cubicles that brought light down into the tunnel by using the sun, of course, and to prove her story to be.
All right, what I miss? Fire in the bowl. 420 brothers. Below the ground. Above the ground. Merry Xmas, everyone from Jazz. Say what? Oh, I see y'all getting lit. Yeah. It's Christmas Eve. How y'all feeling? Everybody doing good? Let's keep it going.
Be true, there is a map below from the Sanborn Fire Insurance Map of 1903. So they had to report their map to the insurance company. And the map shows that there are in fact tunnels under the hotel. So when I was showing you all the windows that were at the current ground level in episode 40, and also the exact same thing most likely going on in ancient Champagne, episode 36, in my opinion, I think that all of these tunnels in all of these cities and towns lead to a central point. And I think that this point is where the Freemasons set up their lodge. I think the lodge is the central point of all the tunnels. But that's just where my opinion stands.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Slap that like for your boy Jesky Chuck, and be sure you're subscribed. Christmas Eve disturbing TikTok videos and theories that might keep you up all night.
At the moment, based on all of my research. The police were the ones enforcing the prohibition. These tunnels lead from the courthouse to the jail, and all the places that were enforcing the prohibition, including the courthouse and many other places. But my point is, this wasn't designed to smuggle alcohol by gangsters and bootleggers. You wouldn't design your tunnel to go right to the jail or the courthouse or the police station. These tunnels were used for a much different reason for the previous civilization. And how deep do these things go? Are there more that we don't know about? Are there buildings completely covered by the dirt that we can't see? And this is not the only town that this kind of stuff is taking place in. For example, we have the Ybor tunnels located in Tampa, Florida. There is no doubt that tunnels.
Yo, huge shout out from San Diego. Taylor Jerome, what's good? Soulcraft. Chris, still in the building. Eating dinner, enjoying this. Ludum. Much love, Jesky from Lewis. Hey, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you all.
Do exist under Ybor City, but their purpose is highly debated. The most common belief is that bootleggers or the Tampa Mafia dug the tunnels under many of the establishments along the city's main drag, connecting them to the port, allowing easy smuggling of shipments of liquor in and out of the city. So another narrative saying this was for smuggling liquor, with zero evidence, as this was just a common belief. Who says that this is a common belief? Who gets to decide that?
Exactly. Who gets to vote? Just like the different type of literature that the public education system does. Who takes a vote? Does the U.S. Board of Education just automatically decide what we have to do? Love your videos, man, says Lewis. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna be dropping way more consistent in January. Way more. Knowledge is not something to fill a brain. It is start a fire in the brain. Jess, Lemony, please.
This is not what I believe at all. Not even close. I believe that these tunnels were there before, found and repurposed possibly, but not created for alcohol smuggling. This is crazy. All over the world they use this crazy narrative, building massive tunnels that connect so many buildings together perfectly. All for alcohol? No way. A reminder, of course, that this was done by a civilization that rode around on horses and couldn't even build a road. Dirt roads, but incredible tunnel systems around the world. Give me a break. They couldn't even build a road on the ground. Why should we believe that they could create connecting massive tunnel systems below the ground, all over the world, all for alcohol? And was there something that these tunnels had underground that we weren't allowed to see, or are possibly still there? Did they have the previous civilization's items, their technology? This is a classic example of using the previous civilization's technology.
600 people hit that like button in this building. Let's go.
And saying this is the first time, we really honestly don't come up with ideas very often. All of these things that we're told are invented in the last 200 years at rapid speeds, and are all things that the previous civilization already had. And was there only one previous civilization? Or has this happened many, many times before?
Who knows how many resets really took place? Because if you look at the Sphinx, I'm sold. If you just look at the Sphinx, come here real quick, y'all. We got to talk about this. You want to talk about how many resets didn't happen? Look at this right here. Take a good look at it, all right? All right, you see this? You want to ask how many resets then happened? What we are currently looking at. We know at least 2 resets then took part, if you ask me. For entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. But if you had to ask me how many resets happened so far, I would say we're at 2 to 3, in between 2 to 4 resets. Because take a look at the Sphinx. This wasn't originally a lion with a tail. And then something happened. A reset might have taken place. And then whatever civilization the Egyptians came, right after that thing was a lion, and they made it into a Sphinx. They came across this giant lion monument and they said, look, we're just going to chop it up a little bit more. Because this thing was originally a lion. Look at the giant paws. Okay? Hit the like and subscribe button. But we're looking at 2 to 3, 4 resets that already didn't happen. Bucko? How many resets do you think happened? Do you even think a reset didn't happen? What do y'all think? We're going to dive back into the video. But I just had to share that with y'all. Hey, Holly Weaver became a buckled up bucko. Let's go. If you guys don't know, you can become a member for just $1 now. A buckled up bucko. So I appreciate you guys rocking with your boy on Christmas Eve. Everyone, shout out to Holly for becoming an official Dark Waters 9 member. There's your life vest. You're going to need it because these waters get treacherous.
And do you want to see how this works? Do you think this is a one-off? Would you like to see how the narrative is coming from a single source? Telling the narrator what to say to us, lying and repeating the same story over and over and over, just like the news. Being told what to say and not actually showing proof of anything. Just guessing and telling us that it is common belief. Never even seeing a bottle of alcohol down in one of these tunnels. And we just accept it. Well, not anymore. We're all allowed to question it and use common sense and use only facts to form how we look at things. The tunnels of Benicia. Not only are we given the exact same narrative as the other 2 tunnels, but we are also given the exact same words. Bootleggers transporting alcohol through the hidden tunnels in California. This is the exact same story, yet thousands of miles away from each other. from Oshkosh to Florida to California. How do they all know how to make perfect tunnels underground?
Angry Dwarf has become the buckled up bucko. Let's go, y'all. For just 99 cents. You can support your boy, help with the special effects, all that. I'll put it back into here, try to get this merch rolled out. I appreciate all you guys that rock with me that tough.
Ground, but cannot build a road on the ground. Never a mistake, just perfect tunnels, all connecting to all of the buildings. Now knowing this information, how can we even look at a building with windows under the current ground level the same ever again? And this paragraph is showing it to us again, that all of these things that we are suggesting make so much more sense.
Kitty G in the building, let's go. Let's become a buckled up bucko for just 99 cents. You can support your boy. You can get access to all types of behind the scenes postings, video clips, all that. I go hard for my members. Let's go. Here's a life vest for you, Kitty. You're going to need it because these waters, they get treacherous.
Sense than the crazy narrative that we are told, suggesting that there were people before us and that our narrative is lying to us about it for their benefit and to hold power over the people. Why would that be shocking? It isn't. It is also so much more believable than the crazy timeline that we are given. And the mistakes make it clear that there were dirt roads, yet there were perfect tunnel systems underground with no power tools. Who is transporting the people to these tunnel sites? An Uber? No. They were supposedly riding their horse home in time for dinner. Now this paragraph states that arguably a more proper and kid-friendly explanation.
Hold it. Bun E Rabbit in the building hopped her way to become a buckle up bucko. Let's go. For 99 cents.
Wait, before we continue.
Here's your life vest. You're going to need it on these waters. 3 Jackson, y'all going crazy with the 99 cent buckled up bucko. You got access to all my videos, my workouts, behind the scenes. I'm thinking about doing bloopers on there. But yeah, you get access to all that. Baby Turtle, get them likes up. Keep your head on a straight swivel. What if somebody said that to you? Hey, keep your head on a swivel, and you did it. Or if you said that to someone, hey, keep your head on a swivel, boy.
They again don't know why these tunnels are here and just making things up. Okay, here we go. Some mysterious people that we don't know who they are say that the tunnels were originally created as an escape route for the town's elites. Believers of this theory claim
Todd Cole, baby girl, 2, 3 at the same time. Both of you became buckled up buckles. Y'all going crazy. $2. Hey, ever look into solar flare resets? Damn, that is something powerful. Solar flare resets. Gary Jackson with the $5. Guys, I can't keep up. We're on fire right now with the donations. It is literally going insane right now. Eden Garden with the buckled up buckos. Here's life vest for you all. If it doesn't fit, give it back. I'll give you the correct size. Please welcome all the new members. Huge shout out to Gary Jackson with the $5 on the Christmas Eve. I almost said disrespectful TikToks. The disrespectful. The disturbing videos and theories that will keep you up all night. Not disrespectful TikToks. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Joshua B gifted 5. Y'all are going bonkers right now. What is going on, man? We gotta hit a backflip. Y'all going insane. Huge shout out to all the members. Gary Jackson with the 5. Joshua B going insane with the 5 gifted memberships. Stone Soup, Steven, Joanna, Connolly, Deli, the Kiwi. You guys are gifted a membership, access to everything. I listen. Because you guys are going bonkers right now. The Christmas Eve disrespectful TikToks. Oh my God. That's a hit. Disrespectful TikTok. Hey, but that's huge, y'all. Good looking. Likes are free. Support your boy. Jet Ski. Jason Westcott. It is what it is. But the solar flares reset somebody mentioned, that is fascinating. I've never heard about that. That's something we should definitely look into.
Claimed that there was a tunnel entry point at the Capitol building, connecting to the clock tower and surrounding buildings. The underground route would allow for the city's elites to safely escape militaristic threats. Now, this tunnel system is supposedly connecting all the old world buildings together, exactly like we have shown in the other cities. My question is, what in the world is underground? And how big are these buildings? I definitely don't think that the dirt is just hiding some tunnels. These old world buildings that look insane above ground must have unbelievable stuff underground that we cannot see. How big is the Cologne Cathedral? What kind of tunnel systems are under these major cities? It's incredible stuff. The door is now wide open for us to go even deeper, literally and figuratively. If we're able to get our hands on technology that can see underground, one day, this could be bigger than we ever imagined. Oh, and we're not done yet, because I'm not leaving evidence on the table. We have the Bavarian tunnel system, where we are told, and I quote, that there were 3 separate tunnels connected to at least 4 different buildings at the Bavarian brewery. More alcohol and more tunnels and more buildings. And even more uncertainty from the narrator. The North.
And a huge shout out to Eden's Garden for the $3. I did not catch that. My mistake. The $3. Good looking. And they became a buckled up buckle. Eden's Garden. We're going to go to the Eden Islands very soon. Jazz, let's go. Became a buckled up buckle. Here's your life vest for just 99 cents. You can't beat it with a bat.
Entrance was reportedly in the boiler house, but it may have been in the engine room structure, which was converted to a bottling department after Prohibition. So it might have been, but we really don't know what we're talking about, because we found these tunnels and we're clearly lying. Let's scroll down and take a look at this together. And keep in mind what words they are using. They don't know how these tunnels got here. What they write is a complete lie in my opinion. Here we go. They also illustrate that Tunnel T3 had been bricked up by 1950. Wait, what? They bricked the tunnel up? I wonder what they didn't want us to see in 1950. And this was probably done sometime during Prohibition, but of course they aren't sure. And we are supposed to just accept that. There would have been staircases in both of these buildings providing access to the tunnel. And it is believed, but totally unsure again, in the exact same paragraph, there is so much guessing and uncertainty. But it is believed that Tunnel T2 was used beginning in 1907.
Holly Weaver. Come on. Dark Waters 9 Explorer. Damn. Here's your life vest. Holly Weaver, you're going to need it. Especially if you're on the Explorer crew. You're side by side with your boy. Huge shout out to Holly Weaver. Angry Dwarf. Solar flare hits tonight. Look at 4 northern lights. Interesting. Angry Dwarf. And huge shout out to Holly Weaver. This stream is thumping, ain't it?
Possibly until the brewery was closed in 1966. Possibly. So they are unsure about all of this. They don't know anything. They are trying their best to explain away massive tunnel systems that were here in the 1800s, that do not fit into the narrative, that connect massive buildings together during a time period that people supposedly had candlelight. Do we all understand how hard it would be to dig out all of this dirt and form massive tunnel systems? The dirt would have to go somewhere. Do you think nobody would notice this dirt? And this would take so long that surely somebody would notice the dirt sitting there eventually. They didn't have dump trucks. They could take the dirt away in a day. Surely somewhere in the world where these tunnels were being built, some authority figure would have some questions.
It makes you think, man, about Lake Michigan too, because if you look at all the older maps, Lake Michigan isn't even there. It's just straight all Shalaga. So where did they put all this stuff that they dug out? That's an excellent question. You wouldn't think anybody would be curious about that?
Like, what are you guys doing over there? With massive amounts of dirt piling up and thousands of pounds of limestone for the walls. The narrative sounds so insane and a joke, because it is. And I'm so thankful that we are on the other side of this narrative now, not just blindly accepting it because we're told to. So what happened to this tunnel? Well, in 2017 to 2019, during the construction of the Kenton County Government Center, Turner Construction reported encountering multiple tunnels. So there were even more tunnels than we're told about. And T2 and T3 were in their way. So Turner demolished the tunnels. So let's move to Cincinnati, Ohio, where 40 feet below the current ground level, 10,000 square feet of tunnels were supposedly built in 1855. Now, after everything that we have said, this is just insane. Another tunnel system in the 1800s, and they aren't going to tell us that this one was used for alcohol too, or will they? Oh, of course they will. This one belonged to the Link Brewery, which was a half a mile away from the tunnels. What? Wait, the brewery was a half a mile away from the tunnels? But they are taking credit? Why did they need massive tunnels? To age the beer in underground tunnels? Are you kidding me? After Prohibition ended in 1930.
Merry Christmas, Jet Ski, with a $10 donation by 3 Jackson. Let's go. Thank you, brother. I got a backflip for you for that. Hey, listen! No matter, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, wherever you at, what you doing, if you just chilling, if you, hey, my salute. 3 Jackson with a Merry Christmas, man. I hope you guys making a great one. Keep up the good work. I keep coming back because you seem genuine person, genuine, hilarious. Thank you, brother. I'm going to be posting way more consistent soon. I got a lot planned up.
The tunnels were useless and filled up and destroyed. Wow.
Stephanie Marshall, I cannot focus. Stephanie Marshall, happy holidays. Let's go. With the $2 donation.
Wow. This, in my opinion, is literally proving that Prohibition was an excuse for these tunnels. And now that we can drink alcohol again, we're all cool with them just destroying these tunnels from the past civilization. Over and over and over. This is the excuse. But in January of 2018, they accidentally made a mistake and discovered more tunnels during renovation. So 2 months later, they didn't have any other choice but to show them off to the public. And what do they care? Everyone is buying the narrative at this point that these massive tunnel systems are here because of the alcohol ban from back in the day. You can even see in Atlanta, Georgia, where their city is basically all above ground. And there are stores underground that used to be there. It's so weird. And Kansas City has one too. And then we were told in about 1887, a 22-foot wide, 18-foot tall, and 810-foot long tunnel system right under the people's feet in Kansas City. Why have we not gone and investigated this one? Well, it was sealed off in 1956 and basically forgot about. I wonder why it was forgot about. Well, maybe because it was sealed off. Definitely an agenda, working all over the world, working together to hide the true history. And we see it over and over again, covering so many different topics, the tunnel system being only one of them. I hope you all enjoyed this episode today. I've always been really interested in the tunnel systems and all of the underground stuff, including Denver Airport, where they supposedly built a brand new airport when they didn't even need a new airport, that now has a lot of buildings that were buried and connected underground. So the past civilization showed the way, and it continues today, right in front of our faces and now right below our feet. If you all like this video and want to see more, subscribe, like, and let
Love you, Chuck. $2 donation from Jazz. Man, thank you so much. That is huge. Much love coming from Jazz. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate all your support. Love you too.
Let me know in the comments below. The more we dig, the more we find. Here we have an image of a diploma for the American Pacific Exposition and Oriental Fair for Portland, Oregon in 1905. So 1904, they have the St. Louis World's Fair. 1 year after, we get this one in Oregon. This diploma is very interesting. As we go down to the bottom, we have a photo, and we can clearly see in the background 2 airships, both looking different. They normally don't show this form of transportation in these photos. They normally blank out the sky. But as we look up all of these countries, we see the big ones. And then we see Caucasia. Have any of us heard of a country in the 1900s named Caucasia? I personally have never heard of Caucasia, which is similar to Tartaria. All of these countries that we were never told about. But this one wasn't hundreds of years ago. This was 1905. So they are now, in my opinion, lying and telling us that Caucasia, or Caucasus, is a region that has a bunch of countries in it, including Russia, which we all know have connections to Tartaria. But let's take a look at this list again from 1905. They are already listing Russia on this map with Turkey, France, Holland, Germany, Switzerland, Italy. All of these are countries. They are not regions. I'll say it again. These are countries. Why would they then throw a region in there randomly? That doesn't make any sense. I think we are finding, in my opinion, that there is more land that we aren't being told about that was here in the 1900s. And I think Caucasia is being hidden from us right now. So we were given a photo with the airships in the background in the sky. So I went digging.
Caucasia. It rolls off the tongue and it sounds like it's always been there. Just saying it, Caucasia. It sounds natural, you know, like it's been there. Does it not? Caucasia. That's interesting. What is Caucasia?
And found this photo from 1905, World's Fair in Oregon, showing more airships. In my opinion, and a few others, this form of travel was all over the place. It wasn't just created in the 1800s, and the Hindenburg event was used as a scare tactic to make these airships look faulty, removing this free energy form of transportation technology out of our lives. Do you really think that they put a gas in these airships that would be so incredibly flammable and fly them over massive cities? Or does it make more sense that this Hindenburg event was a planned event to get rid of this free form of travel and wipe it from the history books? Here we have a photo of one of these airships sitting in between the 2 spires of the old world building. You can see that they use these spires.
Look how massive that airship was, though. Every time I see an airship, it's just like, wow, cool. They was really getting around, man.
To electrically charge these airships. And this was common knowledge. And in the very next photo, it's leaving the port. We are not given the truth about our history. This isn't something that we are ever told about in our mainstream schooling system all over the world. Do you find that odd? Let's keep digging. We see that the US Army had this technology in the 1800s, as well as the Navy. Now, this is a photo from July of 1931, and we clearly have an airship charging at the top of this building. So we have a lot going on here, and this was within the last 100 years. An airship.
That looks like it's charging off the Empire State Building, does it not? Welcome, Renee Jackson, a buckled up bucko for $1. Let's go. Here's your life vest. You're going to need it. These waters get treacherous.
Charging at the top of this tower. Did you think they only charge at the top of buildings? Of course not. They had charging docks in the middle of the water. Here we have a photo of the US Navy airship in 1924, charging from this boat. Now let's zoom in on this charging station to get a good look at what's going on here. Now, this is a technology that we were never told about. This is hidden from our timeline, a clear proof that there is much more to the story than what we've been told, especially since this was not thousands of years.
I got something like an airship. I got the escape pod. Let me see if I still got it. Take me to the space bridge. Where's the escape pod at? Activate escape pod. Hee hee. You know, it's not an airship, but we up here, man. We are up here. You guys keep saying, Chuck, get it. You need to make an airship. You need to make an airship. I got an escape capsule, okay? I use the escape capsule to go when needed. It is full of helium. It's not an airship, but the airship's coming, okay? I'm looking down, and I'm telling you, man, where are the stars? Where's the moon? You know? In the ionosphere, okay? We up here, y'all. We are is in the ionosphere. If I go any higher, I'm gonna hit the firmament. So I just auto coast to be this high, all right? If we go any higher, we will hit the firmament, guys. You guys keep yelling, Chuck, you need an airship. Hey, I got the escape capsule, okay? If you want to jump in, I'll show you a whole new world, Aladdin. You said you're using your fisheye lens. I don't know, it looks kind of flat to me. It looks flat. I'm just saying. All right, let's go back to the video.
Years ago, and shows how easily history can be rewritten. This technology should be common knowledge at this point. Here we have another angle in Rhode Island of the charging taking place. And if we switch angles here, we can actually see the charging tool that was used right at the top of this tower. They're clearly about to connect to the airship. So this, in my opinion, is clearly explaining what's going on at the top of these old world buildings. They were charging stations for the airships. They have the same features, and I guarantee you that they still turn on, since this was not.
3 Jackson, era ended at the start of the J.D. Rockefeller research. Do your own research for entertainment purposes only. So 3 Jackson, huge shout out for the $2 donations. It is at the start of a reset era when the Rockefellers could. You know, they definitely look like custodians at this point, if you ask me. And we're about to dive in very, very shortly on that book, on part 5 of Beyond the Ice Wall. I hope you're ready, bucko.
Not that long ago. And I'm going to take this time right now to answer a lot of people's question. Will we ever find the truth? As we keep uncovering more and more documented evidence, we're going to find that the previous civilization was not that far in the past. And our current structures hold so much more technology than we ever truly understood. So in my opinion, yes, we are going to find the truth about all of this. We are uncovering the truth faster and faster. And this community gets bigger and bigger, with more and more people sharing their thoughts and knowledge. The mainstream history is becoming comedy hour at this point. So we can clearly see that these buildings all around the world may have had a second purpose, but they were without a doubt here to generate free energy, specifically for airships. And once you realize this, then we can go deeper and ask the question, was the previous civilization capable of using these buildings to power their flight that were so much more powerful, so much faster, and so much more incredible than an airship? I believe that they fully understood this technology. They were the ones that constructed it. They had this technology and were able to travel through the air so much faster than we can today while using the Earth's natural energy. These buildings are technology. They are able to extract the energy and are able to turn it into a fuel. If you're looking for a why, a motive to suppress this technology, well, it would 100% benefit a civilization, us. It's free. There is zero benefit to free transportation, free energy. Do we need to go further for the why? So when you go around your town now and see the top of these buildings, we can all understand how popular this form of transportation really was. It was everywhere. Now, we have talked about Tartaria. We have shown in this episode in the beginning how there are possibly more countries and more land, such as Caucasia. So we have Tartaria, but we also have Barbaria, where you would get the term barbarians. And of course, again, have any of us heard of a place called Barbaria in history class? Maybe you have now. But in mainstream history, this is not something that is taught to us. We're not being told the truth about any of this. And we have many maps of a land called Barbaria. For a bonus today, I have a lot of things that I want to share that I've found in my research. And I don't want to just brush over them, but I do want to share them with you all. I found this photo from Portland, Maine, of the old City Hall. In their newspaper from 1888, they wrote that it was built in 1825 and was used in 1832. So this was going on like 200 years ago. And you can see what they're all riding around on. They were able to build these kind of structures so fast, apparently, that after...
There's no way they built that structure. In 3 years?
63 years, this thing was so outdated and needed to be demolished. And it's interesting because this exact story is given to us all over the USA. And in all honesty, it's all over the world. It's weird how we were told that they lived in sheds, yet could afford to knock down relatively new structures like this. Oh, and we are told that they built this thing with a population of like 8,000 people. Like I said before, anyone on a horse, a donkey, and anyone who had a wagon, a shovel or a chisel was born with incredible architecture skills in the 1800s. It's incredible stuff. And I know some of you have mentioned this topic in the comments below. Well, here is a conveniently half-destroyed photo from the 1904 World's Fair. And if we just zoom in a little, you can see what this exhibit was. And here's the description we are given. Served as a fair attraction and a working hospital. This is normal for a fair attraction? These fairs have a much darker purpose than what we have been told. Just read that last sentence. They were brought from hospitals to the concessions. Well, they were brought from somewhere, and this is such a weird thing. Using common sense, how many mothers would allow their kid that is born early to leave the hospital to be, in their own words, an attraction at a fair? Let's use our brains a little now. These are not coming from the hospital, in my opinion, that this was an operation to populate these cities again. And when did Ellis Island start taking immigrants? New Year's Day, 1892, perfect time to start an operation. You don't find it odd that right around the exact same time period as these World's Fairs, you have these operations to refill the USA back up with a brand new batch of people. Now let's go back to the airships. Here's a photo from 1935. After they removed the airships from our timeline, and they were using the hangar for the airplanes now. And look at the size of this hangar, just to prove how massive these airships were in comparison. The amount of people that could have been on this airship were in the thousands. Here's a sketch of the interior of an airship, and you can see they were incredible. They had bedrooms, dining areas, all of the things that you would do if you were going to treat a society with respect.
Oh my God. That's how you should travel. Nowadays we fly in coach, Spirit, you're cramped. They keep letting you, they seat down, hitting you on your knees. You can't sleep because they slapping your knees. You're asking for peanuts. She said, sorry, sir, we're out. It's a terrible experience. This is how we should be flying, y'all. It should be a nightclub up there. Look, they got nightclub, dining, masseuse, massage chair, saloon. This is how you fly, y'all. If I'm going to Hawaii or Japan or something, I'm trying to fly like this. I'm not trying to sit down. Nobody was meant to sit down like this for that amount of hours, y'all. There's no way. For 18, 12, 8 hours, 4 hours is pushing it. But for 18, 12 hours, human beings weren't meant to sit down like this for that long. Y'all, think about it.
Instead of our form of travel now, where we are all just jammed in next to each other and forced to suffer for hours. So I know this isn't a real photo, but honestly, who knows at this point what the previous civilization was capable of? What kind of things were in these airships that we aren't being told about? Water parks? Events? We know these airships were real. They were everywhere, and they were massive, and not a part of the narrative. They put the brakes on them really quick to trick our civilization into thinking that.
Could you imagine that? Like a cruise ship, but it was an airship. They could have had water parks, like he said. You know, roller coasters. There's no telling how big of an airship. They could have had cruise ship airships for all we know. That's a wonderful idea, ain't it?
We're advancing into the airplane, when in reality, we had it made with the airship. Now, there are so many pictures of these vehicles all over the place, and they were definitely interesting to look at and wonder. So I want to make sure that I'm able to share these pictures here with everyone, so that you don't have to go on a scavenger hunt all over the place for them. And I want to make this point clear, if I haven't already. These airships predate the airplane, and they'll even admit it in the mainstream narrative, that the airship was supposedly invented in 1852, which is a lie. It was long before this, and we know that here. And the airplane, as we've covered, was handed over to us in 1903. So 51 years later, rapid speeds, new technology just flying at us, literally. The problem with the 1852 date is that we have depictions of airships that predate the 1800s by civilizations. Knowing this information frees your mind. You are able to think for yourself. You are no longer trapped in the ridiculous mainstream society game that just goes around and drives people insane. You can step back and enjoy your life, knowing you are important. Your life is much more meaningful. This place that we all live was filled with great technology. A civilization, in my opinion, that used free technology, possibly no debt, possibly a place where everyone was able to take the time to enjoy their lives, instead of working to struggle. Again, it's very important to know this, since we all live in this place, that 100% changes and forms through your thoughts, through all of our thoughts.
Look, was the Empire State Building a giant mooring station? Look, the Empire State Building isn't just a building. They made that to charge up these airships, man.
And when you have a different level of knowledge, your thoughts change for the better. It's very important to know that you are important, and your life is much more meaningful than you were ever made to believe from day one.
Huge shout out to My Lunch Break. Make sure you subscribe. Check them out. Oh my God. That was a banger. He took us through there. Now, I looked a little ahead. I didn't read too much, but I looked a little bit of ahead. And on this next chapter, they're talking about Admiral Byrd. So we're just going to do a quick interlude to thank everyone that's became the members, our new members, everyone that's super chatted. Thank you. Because we are going to take a quick 3-minute interlude. Then we're going to get deep into Admiral Byrd's story on Beyond the Ice Wall. So you better lock in and buckle up, bucko, because we got more disturbing and creepy theories coming right at you. right, guys, let's talk for a little bit, and then we're gonna dive into this chapter. All right, let me pull up the chat. What are you guys talking about? How are you guys feeling? Holy Weaver. Hey Jet, thanks for the shout out. Could you say hi to my daughter Luna too, please? Hey Luna. It sounds just like I was just watching Harry Potter and Deathly Hollows with Luna. So that's that. She loves you and will make her whole night. Huge shout out, Luna. I hope you have a great night and a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. We've had 4 cornerstones in our technology before. Jason dropping gems. Chuck, what's good? Judy Page, Ski 2, Ski 3. Hey, you getting it? Who donated the $9.99? Buckle up, Buckles. Colton Caldwell with the $9.99. Went past my dome. I didn't even see it. Thank you for that. Excuse me. Joshua B in the building. Geo Boss. Jimmy, keep up the great walk. YouTube keeps. Let's start an airship fund where we can build our own as a collective. Well, I have to be honest with you. Everything we're learning about Beyond the Walls, we need a multi-purpose ship. If you ask me, airships are an attempt at free energy of the ether of the second or third reset. On the first and second reset, they weren't using airships. They were using multi-purpose vehicles that was able to go through air and able to be submersible. Cause to be able to go through certain parts of the ice wall, according to the book and different theories, that you just can't fly in the air. You have to be submerged. So you need a multi-purpose ship. Airships aren't it anymore, guys. I love airships and I want one, but we need a multi-purpose vehicle to get beyond the wall. That's all I'm saying. The swivel on point. Keep your head on a straight, sweet swivel. Lockdown in the building. Beat code. What's good? Baby girl 923. Kitty G in the building. Thanks for being you. That's all I can do, y'all. I'm sorry. All I can be is myself. I'm sorry. I'm scruffy gang out here. I didn't line up. I'm just out here straight scruffy. Straight lying in the wilderness type. You know what I'm saying? Normally I get a fade for y'all going, but man, it's the winter. It's cold out here, y'all. Lockdown, what's good? Randy Ann, baby girl 923. I rock with y'all so tough, man. Anybody give y'all problems, they gotta go through me first. On everything. Y'all ready to get into this story about Richard E. Byrd? Alright, y'all. Let's get into this. We're gonna do a little bit of reading today, nothing, some light work, y'all already know. Today's chapter, where we picked up. That's where we're at, y'all. How do I sound? I seem pretty cool. Deluxe, you're cool, Jesky. I really like you, bro. Hey, what's up, man? I like you guys too. I can't find his diary on YouTube. All right. The Summer Portal and the Spirit Education. The Summer Portal was a success since the custodians were not noticing our presence. When entering the lands for several years, the whole group and even Butler were forbidden to enter by the order of Fael, who considered that if they found us there, not only would they put an end to our lives, but they'll try to get information from us by any means. We're just reading a book. fictional book. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. And the whole plan would be a ruin and a serious risk. As we said, the plan had to be perfect or not exist at all, because a failed plan was assured reset. The years went by, and the plan of the spiritual awakening of the human being in the known lands had been increasing and was developing in a key, safe way. The teachers who entered throughout were mentioned portal, were able to carry out teachings and form an education that any child received here in these lands, prioritizing the importance of the human soul, unconditional love, and empathy. Unfortunately, as we imagine, certain black hands began to be noticed around these teachings, confusing the human being and causing many to move away. These great premises began to be corrupted as well as become a cruel business. Excuse me. But as I said before, there were other plans to supplement these others when things began to get dark. It was a constant struggle so that our would not be discovered, but neither should we let the plans fall into hands of the custodians completely. It was time now to carry out another plan that would bring in consciousness and a navigator, faithful friend who would arrive from. No, it said a plan that would bring consequences. A navigator, a faithful friend would arrive from these lands with a vessel built here, simulating at the time of movement, and it would tell his story to the world. He would reveal major issues that needed to be known for those who wanted to listen. Antarctic passage between the walls of ice, discovery of other lands, the ancestral republic would be named for the first time in history of the humanity. The story would be intermingled with themes of time, both economic and social, for its apparition. We knew that system created based on the strong scientific conditioning by means of heliocentrism. It was no easy task. The ancestral navigator spent some time in the well-known harbor within the ice walls, where he showed the curious a lot of real information about the Republic and the human past, including about the giant humans. Before the story was published, a lot of information was manipulated, and the story came out half-baked, being quite confusing and leaving several important points unmentioned. The author ended up disappearing and being locked up. Akon. Love story time. Hey, let's go, Carla Holiday. Dance break. My faithful friend returned urgently to the lands, and as would draw the attention of the custodians, who would seek by all means to understand how the information has been leaked. While they were confident in their manipulation, they would seek out other means to disillude him, and he would know that not so friendly visit was expected and could come from either the known lands, custodial, or Anunnaki. The custodians avoided us, and this made us stronger. The giant humans, as Butler once remarked, would sooner or later give him their help, and great technology was again shared. And with this, we were able again ahead of the custodial evidence. What there that moves the custodians in this silent war? They would use the human being to master technology. This would bring any great consequences, as a human being was not prepared for each of such advanced technology compiled with custodian colonizing conditioning. It was a time bomb that was not long in coming. Great wars have a deadly plague which were prescripted in the environment to the enjoyment of the custodians. Human expeditions to the Antarctic began, influenced by leaders who had direct connection with the reigning power. They knew they had to focus on the education to continue corrupting the new human generations. Several space achievements will come to lay solid foundations of heliocentrism. The possibility of other lands behind the ice wall will be almost buried. They started then with the creation of the bases around the Antarctic ring added to the exclusion zones, a strong militarization of key areas. Also, not long after the summer portal was discovered, the custodians took this as a game to demonstrate their power against ours. We felt that in a way they enjoyed it, but they also knew they were risking too much. A few years before the first custodial attack on our lands called Operation High Jump, we're getting in somewhere. Did you guys hear that? A few years before the first custodial attack on our lands called Operation High Jump, by means of a large number of human soldiers and custodial technology. The media barely mentioned it, but it was one of the biggest moves made by any military force. The largest movement by any military force in the history of new humanity. The leaders were known as Richard Byrd, and they were used in several missions in the reconnaissance of other lands. But in the several other missions, he would never reach our lands. Although he had attacked, could endanger our people, both us and the Anakim had no intention of attacking them, but they made them withdraw their armed forces in a peaceful way. The Anakim masters talked several times with their leaders, but another force entered the conflict, and great battle was fought just behind the first dome. Then the same leaders would make contact several times with the Anakim masters, and it would also help us carry out the plan of human awakening, with the known lands becoming the infiltrator for a while. Eventually, by choice or obligation, this changed dramatically, and it was informed that the military leader delivered valuable and secret information of the Anakim technology, and it was the first of the group of the new humanity to send it to Mars recognition of his work. Attacking us with other human beings was one of the many perverse strategies of the enemy. It was their way of demonstrating their power and make us face our past, since we sought to liberate it and not confront them in absurd battles. So they're fighting their own people like, damn, I don't even want to be fighting you, brother. The custodians have your mind warped. That were defeated by mere conditioning. We knew that at this time they were carrying out would be end abruptly by their way of acting. We were going to continue gaining ground in this awakening, and they would start attacks with their environment with different techniques, as always: natural disasters, pandemics, wars between nations, etc. Those academic books that until now seemed untouchable began to be strongly questioned, and the entire academy began to reel from the possibility of another model. The infinite earth would begin to emerge and would be the ultimate plan that would give way to a final liberation attempt. That's all we got for today's episode. If you made it this far, be sure to drop Christmas Eve in the comments if you made it this far from the video. It's your boy Jet Ski Chuck. Quick, the lights have been great tonight. Good vibes, says Jazz. Drive truck, Santa Claus is coming to town. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys. And yeah, it's Operation High Jump. And tomorrow, Christmas, I'll try, guys. I'm not going to make no promises. But same time, tomorrow, we'll be reacting to some more creepy and scary TikTok videos and theories with your boy Jet Ski Chuck around the same time tomorrow on Christmas. This is your boy Jet Ski Chuck signing out. I love you. God bless.